Welcome to episode 4 of the Jasmine Star Show, a show where we talk about life, business, and turning your passion into your purpose. Thank you so much for tuning in today. So I was invited to speak at Pays to Be Brave. This is an event that's focused on business and confidence, and I had a blast. Angie Lee is the host, and she's a very sweet, dear friend of mine. So I love her tribe, but specifically because they are just a bunch of hustlers. Let me tell you, you are about to hear some hyped up hustlers doing their dang thing. Now, every time I speak, I like to pack my keynotes with content and practical tips. The goal for me every time I speak is that people can walk home, drive home, fly home, whatever it is, that when people get home, they actually know what to do. I don't like to talk for the feel-good fuzzies. I like to talk so I have practical tips for application that will actually push your business forward. So what you are about to hear is the secret to growing on Instagram, which is what my keynote was about. I'm going to share that with you, so let's have a listen now.
So I'm going to share with you today the secret to growing on Instagram. And this secret is going to be dropping in just 1 second. And the secret to going on Instagram is to stop growing. And this is where a lot of us are like, oh, skirt. Angie, you brought the wrong person. I came here to grow. I came here to be brave. If then that is what we're talking about, many people are going to be like, so no, you don't get it, Jasmine. You don't get where I am. You don't get my business. And to that I say, give me a couple seconds and let's see if we can get on the same page. Because people might be sitting here being like, why should I stop growing on Instagram? That's going to be the question that's floating through your head. And my response would look something along the lines of, we think growing on Instagram will solve our monetization struggles. We believe that quite possibly, if I had more followers, I would have more customers. But are you converting your followers to customers? This is the question that I get asked the most. Jasmine, how do I make my followers become my clients? How do I get them to buy something from me? And if you have that idea, if you have that thought, let me tell you, 1 follower, 100, 100,000, up to 1 million, people are asking the same question, so you are not alone. So the question for me that I respond to is people say, how can I do that? Well, if you don't know how to create customers on Instagram, getting more followers isn't the answer. Because thank you, I got a woo. Did you go to church as a kid? That's right. So if then we have all come to the realization that we currently have followers that aren't our customers, if we can get there and say, maybe she's kind of speaking the truth, the question I ask that you ask yourself is, how do I grow my business on Instagram? How can I be less concerned about getting more followers and more concerned on doubling down on the people who I am here to serve in my current demographic? And my advice to you is to go deep, not wide. We must so understand who the people are and why they are following us in the first place. If we don't have an intimate understanding of who they are and their pressure points, we're doing it the wrong way. The thing that I have come to know with all of my heart is that we need to understand our followers. And I am not meaning, oh, well, she's between 25 and 47 and she lives in the Midwest. No. We need to understand why they are following you. And if your response is something like, they follow me because they want to live their best life. They follow me because they want to learn how to lose the last 5 pounds of stubborn belly fat. No, they probably aren't. Because when I ask you what's their version of their best life, and you sit there and flounder for a second without a clear, concrete answer, you don't know them. If you think they're following you because they want to learn how to lose the last 5 pounds of belly fat, it's not about the fat. It's about loving themselves. It's about wanting their husband to look at them a different way. Do you understand the minutia of who you have and not who you want? We need to talk to them. We need to get into every single DM. We need to respond to responses on polls. We need to respond to every comment. We need to stand up and make our people feel known, seen, and heard. And if you're like, Jasmine, I would talk, but nobody's talking to me. Nobody leaves comments. Nobody sends me DMs. My question then becomes, how many comments have you left on other accounts? How many DMs have you sent just to sprinkle a little bit of Instagram love? I believe in this 10x rule. If you want one comment, go and leave 10 comments. If you want a DM, go and leave 10 DMs. If you want to start and say, I'm ready, Jasmine, people just don't know who I am, get on some hashtags, like, and leave a comment. And not a comment that looks like a bot. So cute, love it, fun. I'm talking about, your baby is so cute, where did you get that blanket? Can I get it on Amazon comments? We're talking about go deep with those people, because here's the thing, how many of us get like that comment that you're like, is it real, is it a bot? Right, but I have found myself chief transgressor to leave those, could this possibly be a bot comment? So I have to understand that I need to talk to my people. And more than anything, once we understand them, then we know how to talk to them, then we know how to help them. Ladies, we are not in the business of business. We are in the business of serving people so their lives change. How do we help them? And the beauty is that many of us in this room do the same thing, and we're all going to do it differently. So if you are not connected to your customers in a real deep way, and if you are not articulating their pressure points in a way that resonates with them, then our efforts are going to be stuck. So if you're sitting in this room and being like, I'm on Instagram, it's like a box I check every day, I'm doing it, Jasmine, it's not working. Okay, go back to the 3 tenets. Do you understand them in a deep and intimate way? Or are you talking to them, and even if they're not talking to you, you're creating those conversations, and do you have a clearly defined way of helping them? Through a challenge, through a funnel, through a video series, through an email sequence, through sliding in their DMs. I don't care what it is, you have to know how to help before you ever can get paid for the thing it is you want to do. Because when you make your followers feel known, seen, and heard, you then become the only option for them. We all know that there's so many people who do what we do in our same city, in our same town, on our same street, and many of them could sell the exact same products you sell. Identical. How do you stick out? You're the only option for them when you understand them differently, when you talk to them differently, and when you help them differently. So, if we're on the same page and you're like, whoa, I start off on a high, Jasmine's bringing me down, I'm not sure how I feel about this, let's get to the root of this. We gotta shake it up a little bit. Because if you go home and say, I am ready to talk, understand, and I'm ready to help, and then you get home and you're like, oh, wait a minute, what happened? Where do I go from here? There are natural resistances to prevent us from going deep, because going deep is hard. Number one reason that prevents us from going deep, and I'm talking about 3 main reasons so that when you go home, you're like, oh, I'm seeing this pop up in me, I'm feeling the resistance. Number one reason we stop from going deep with our followers, vanity metrics. Numbers. Numbers matter. What if I'm not an authority? What if I'm not an important? What if people don't want to listen to me because I don't have as much as this person who sells the same thing? But the thing that I know is that numbers don't matter on Instagram. They really don't. Photos matter. Captions matter. Engagement matters most. This is not something I made up. This is Instagram. With their latest algorithm release, they came out and they said, the way you get your post seen is not that the algorithm is some boogeyman out to get you. You can't blame the algorithm. The algorithm is math. The algorithm is democratic. The algorithm looks at your stuff and says, are people engaging? Are they liking? Are they commenting? Are they posting? Because if they are, we're going to show it to more people. And if they like and they comment and they post, we're going to show it to more people. If nobody's engaging with your content initially, less people will see it. Because your audience, the audience, has said, it doesn't matter to us. So what does this mean? I have come to believe and know, trust me, your posts will be seen by more people if you have an account with 1,000 active and engaged followers than 10,000 followers who passively scroll by what you do. Numbers don't matter. Engagement does. Because the thing that we now know is that when we see it, we're focusing on the numbers, we know that we can grow, and we know that we can grow by engagement. That natural, organic type of engagement is what we should all be aiming for, and the best part is that it doesn't look thirsty. The second reason that stops us from going deep with our audience is we don't want to look irrelevant. We want to be at the forefront. We want to be an authority. We want to be avant-garde. We want others to look at us and say, hey, she's doing it really well. But I know with all honesty, that your only objective should be to be relevant to a small group of people who will invest in the thing that you're selling. I don't want you to be all things to all people in all ways. Why? You were not created to be vanilla ice cream. How many people walk into 31 flavors and say, you know what, it's vanilla today. Just vanilla, nothing else. No, people go in and they have like the nuances of the ice cream. Oh, no, this group don't eat ice cream. I forgot who I was talking to. I know you're like, oh, you mean like almond butter and grapes? Very few people, if put at a fruit buffet, are choosing the apple. Right? They're going to go for something a little bit more exotic, a little front. You should always aim to be the nectarines and the strawberries and the passion fruits. Drake, shout out on the fruit bar. Okay. That is our objective because we know that people who invest become the best evangelists. And when you have other people talking about what it is you do, you grow by trust. So y'all are seeing the pattern now. I'm saying stop growing, but what I really meant was stop the thirsty growing. Start the organic growing. Start the engagement growing, start the trust growing. And the third reason that stops us, that prevents us from really moving in the direction that we want to, is that number 3, we become so concerned about being popular and not profitable. Now, some of us might be saying, like, well, can I be both? Yes, I want you to. That is the ultimate goal. I want that more than anything else for you to be popular and profitable. But my good/best friend Taylor Swift once said, if you chase 2 rabbits, you lose them both. So, if you are not popular and profitable, baby boo, I want you to choose one. And if you want to be popular, God bless you, I root for you, go on, do the dang thing, I'm not the speaker for you. And I'm okay with that. If you're here and say, you know what, Jasmine, I want to serve a small group of people in a highly profitable way so that they then go and amplify my business and brand. And then ultimately, I'm having more than a 40% profitability ratio in my business year after year. I say, yes, boo-boo, we're going to do the dang thing. Because the thing that I know is that likes don't pay my bills. Neither do other people's opinions of me. Clients do. I'm going to take care of them. And I don't need to be popular. And I don't need to be for everybody. And I want you to know that too. Because here's the thing that we know is that happy clients are the best form of organic growth on Instagram. Can anybody testify? Not enough of us when we go home. We're going to change that. I want half the room next year. And the following year, I want 90% of the room to say, happy clients grow us on Instagram. We're going to testify. Because the thing that we're highly focused on at this particular time is organic growth. That's where I want you to focus. So when I say stop growing, what I mean is stop spinning your wheels without having a clear direction of how you're converting your followers to your customers. So if you're on the right page or on the same page with me, what is going to be the mindset that you need when you go home? Who are you going to have to be today to become the entrepreneur that you want to tomorrow on Instagram? You have to be able to tell yourself every morning with a deep and utter sense of relief and belief that you belong. That you belong on Instagram, that your voice matters, that you're there to serve a group of people. You have to know that when you wake up each morning, that you have a seat at the table, that you walk into a room and you believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that there is a space for you, that you matter and your opinion matters. And let me tell you something. If for some reason you have come to believe that there is not a seat at the table for you, build your own dang table. And when you do, I want you to put so many chairs around it. And I want you to know that the more chairs you put out, the more people that are going to sit. And these are going to be the people who think like you, who trust you, who know you, who support you. And when you look at all the other tables that had shut you out, say, I come from a place of abundance because I know I belong. The second piece of mindset that we need to radically change the way we up-level our business by going deep with our clients and not wide is that you must wake up every morning and say, I make a difference. You do not have to change 100,000 lives over 100,000 days. We need to never underestimate the power of one. Because if you change your client's life, she goes home and she changes her home. And she changes her neighborhood. And the neighborhood changes the city, and the city changes the county, and the county changes the state, and the state changes the nation, and the nation changes the world. One person could start with your flicker of a flame. So how do you know that when you wake up you make a difference? You believe it. You know that you are impacting lives beyond the one person you're serving, and God bless you as you build your business beyond that. And that you know every morning you stand up and say, I'm in my purpose. Do I want more people to be able to have the effects of the impact that I can create in their lives? Yes. Are you working towards that? Yes. But on this day and in this moment, I am standing where I need to be, serving the people who are at my table. The third and final step to actually changing the mindset that we need to become the entrepreneurs and business owners that we want to be on Instagram is to understand that you are enough. That every day you wake up and saying, I am doing the best I can with what I have. Yes, I am not where I want to be, but I am so happy for how far I've come.
Okay, friend. The secret to growing on Instagram is to stop growing. Now, I know the temptation is that we tend to think that if we could just get more followers, we would have more customers. But my question is, are you converting your current followers into customers? If the answer is no, then getting more followers isn't the answer. Because Buttercup, regardless if you have 10, 100, or 100,000 followers, I'm hearing the same type of question. And the answer is always the same. The answer isn't more followers. The answer is to double down on your current audience and serve them well. So the next time you think you need more customers, please don't be persuaded to think you need more followers. Instead, have deep, meaningful conversations with your current audience and solve their problems in a way that resonates with them. My daddy always told me to dance with the boy who took me to prom. And that is life principles and business principles. Now, I could be at prom looking at all the other boys who didn't take me, or I could look across the person on the dance floor, awkward dance moves and all. And no, I'm not talking about my husband. And I could say, hey, you, thank you for bringing me to prom. I like your corsage. Let's keep on dancing the night away. I would love for all of us to look at our current Instagram followers. I don't care if you have 5 or 500,000 and say, I am here to dance on Instagram with you. And I'm thankful for you. And I'm here to serve you. So in a sea of people offering the same service or the same product that you do, I want you to be the only choice for them because you understand them differently than others and you talk to them differently than others and you help them differently than others. Dance with the people who took you to prom. I want to say thank you again for welcoming me into your speakers or your earbuds or your earpods today. If you enjoyed this episode and you haven't already, please subscribe to the Jasmine Star Show. Episode 5 is a conversation that I have with my friend Lewis Howes, and I can't wait for you to hear it. So subscribe to the show on iTunes so you don't miss it. And we're going to be coming up with other conversations and tips that we have lined up for the future. We have a lot of good stuff. Hang on for this wild ride, and I will talk to you soon.